Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Comic Book Nostalgia. I'm CB Nostalgia, and we have another update for Young Justice. Well, it's hard to believe we are in the closing parts of this season of Young Justice. We have 3 more episodes, and we just found out the title and logline to the upcoming episode, episode 24, and the most recent chapter in the Nightwing arc. So let's not waste any time before we dig right into the latest Young Justice info. Just a quick FYI though, remember, this is pretty much your premier place to get Young Justice news, so if you are a fan of the show, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We're going to continue to do tons of videos after the season is over. Now back to that logline and title. Like many of these, they come in 2 parts. First, we have a title, and the title once again fulfills that invitation to kneel before Zod message. The title of this week's episode is Zenith and Abyss, which sounds pretty ominous. But the logline is way more interesting. The logline for this week is Trauma on Trombus. And if you're wondering, what's Trombus? Well, interestingly enough, this ties to Superboy, but goes way back to the pre-Crisis era of DC Comics. Now, Trombus was the adopted homeworld of the Hyper family, and they were part of that pre-Crisis Superboy comic. But there is a very interesting aspect to this place. The family that landed on Trombus actually gained superpowers very similar to Kryptonians because of the sun. But this wasn't a yellow sun, it was a red sun. Now, this group of heroes was known as the Hyper Family, and I'm not actually expecting to see them in the upcoming episode, but the fact that Trombus is mentioned really does create a ton of questions. First and foremost, we know we're dealing with a lot of Kryptonians, and the team is hot on the trail of Connor and General Zod. We also have many things transpiring outside of the zone. With Phantom Girl returning to Mars, she is likely to reunite with the team. If I'm making any predictions, somehow Trombus will likely figure into the rescue of Connor. Phantom Girl knows General Zod and his minions are in the Phantom Zone, and obviously everybody in the Justice League is very aware of what happens when you put Kryptonians under a yellow sun. I have to wonder if we'll be traveling to Trombus in some kind of rescue attempt for Connor Kent. This would make a ton of sense and would create somewhat of a buffer between the team and all of these Kryptonians that could come flooding out of the Phantom Zone. It also does put Superman at an interesting disadvantage, but we'll have to wait and see how all that works out. It's still completely unclear, and we only have a little less than a day to wait before we finally get the episode. Now, we've been talking about this a lot. This is episode 24, and we still have not gotten our renewal for season 5. We need to keep pushing those hashtags. Renew Young Justice Season 5, and save Earth 16. One of the developers of the comics the other day made it pretty clear. They're not holding back the announcement. It is truly an if it gets renewed, and Greg and the rest of the development team are not waiting to the end of the season to hit us with this announcement. It truly hasn't come from HBO Max, and we're going to have to make this happen as fans. Now, obviously, we just have a couple of more hours before the next episode of Young Justice drops, and I do suspect we will be traveling to Trombus itself, but we'll have to wait and see. Until then, what do you guys think? Were you aware of the Hyper Family superhero team from the pre-Crisis Superboy comics? And do you think our current team will be leveraging that red sun to protect them against Zod and his minions? If I'm making a prediction, I absolutely do. Sound off in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you hit like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Peace.